The exact layout of your smartphone screen is physically remapping the neural pathways of your neocortex every single hour you spend scrolling. We have accidentally turned our daily screen habits into a massive, unmonitored neuroplasticity experiment, and our brains are quietly reshaping themselves to survive the onslaught. This is not about being addicted to your device. This is about a structural biological adaptation to an artificial environment. Right now, as we jump between notifications, work documents, and social feeds, we are training our neural networks to operate in a permanent state of fractured awareness. Have you ever wondered why, after a long day of sitting in front of a computer, your body feels as exhausted as if you had just run a marathon? You did not lift anything heavy. You did not engage in physical labor, yet your muscles are tight, your temples are throbbing, and your mind feels completely drained. What is actually happening behind your eyes is a constant, rapid-fire sequence of micro-decisions and sensory processing that your brain was never evolutionarily designed to handle. Every single ping, every flashing banner, and every red notification dot represents a tiny demand on your executive function. When you switch your attention from a spreadsheet to a text message and then to a news headline, your brain does not make that transition cleanly. It leaves behind a lingering footprint of cognitive processing. Scientists call this attention residue. To understand how this operates, we have to look at the work of Dr. Gloria Mark from the University of California, Irvine, published in the year 2016. She tracked knowledge workers in their natural environments and discovered that the average time spent on any single screen before switching to another task is a mere 47 seconds. 47 seconds. Think about that for a moment. How many tabs do you have open right this second? We tell ourselves we are multitasking, but neuroscience reveals a much more taxing reality. The human brain cannot actually process two cognitively demanding tasks simultaneously. Instead, what you are doing is rapid task switching. You are slamming on the mental brakes, steering your mind in a new direction, and then stomping on the accelerator over and over again, hundreds of times a day. Each switch requires your brain to retrieve a different set of rules, memories, and contexts. It is like trying to drive a car while constantly shifting between reverse and drive at 70 miles per hour. The gears are going to grind down. This brings us to a crucial biological mechanism, the dopamine reward loop. Dopamine is not the molecule of pleasure, it is the molecule of anticipation. It is the chemical that whispers, "Look over there, something amazing might be waiting." In our evolutionary past, this system kept us alive by encouraging us to explore new territories, seek out berries, and scan the horizon for resources. Today, software engineers have hijacked this ancient survival mechanism. Every pull to refresh gesture on your favorite application is functionally identical to pulling the lever of a slot machine in Las Vegas. You do not know if the next scroll will bring a boring advertisement or a hilarious video, a stressful work email or a message from someone you love. That variable reward schedule triggers a massive spike of dopamine in your mesolimbic pathway. Your brain loves this uncertainty. It craves the hit. But the biological cost of this constant chemical bathing is devastating for your prefrontal cortex, the seat of your willpower, long-term planning, and emotional regulation. As you feed this loop, your baseline requirement for stimulation rises. Suddenly, reading a book feels painfully slow. Watching a movie without checking your phone becomes an exercise in extreme self-control. Your brain has adapted to a hyper-stimulated environment, and in comparison, real life feels incredibly dull. You are not losing your mind, you are simply witnessing your brain adapt to the environment you are feeding it. But the adaptation goes much deeper than just attention spans. But let us look at what is happening to the physical architecture of your brain tissue. In a landmark study published in the year 2014 by researchers Dr. Kep Ki Lo and Dr. Ryota Kanai at the University of Sussex, scientists used functional magnetic resonance imaging to scan the brains of individuals who frequently engage in high-media multitasking. What they found sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Individuals who regularly consumed multiple streams of media simultaneously showed a significantly lower gray matter density in a very specific region of the brain called the anterior cingulate cortex. This is not a temporary chemical fluctuation. This is a physical reduction in brain tissue. The anterior cingulate cortex is the command center responsible for cognitive control, emotional regulation, and empathy. When this region is compromised, you become more impulsive, more susceptible to distraction, and far less capable of managing your emotional responses to stress. Your phone is actually a physical extension of your nervous system that you did not realize you were letting modify your gray matter. It stops now. We must look at the before and after of this transformation. Before the digital age, our stress response system, managed by the amygdala and the release of cortisol, was reserved for acute physical threats. If a predator emerged from the brush, your heart rate spiked, cortisol flooded your bloodstream, your digestion shut down, and your focus narrowed to the immediate danger. Once the threat passed, your parasympathetic nervous system kicked in, bringing you back to a state of calm homeostasis. Now, compare that to your typical Tuesday afternoon. You are sitting at your desk and your phone buzzes. It is an email from your boss. Buzz, a news notification about a global crisis. Buzz, a calendar invite. Buzz, a text message from your partner. Each of these digital inputs is perceived by your primitive amygdala as a micro-threat. Your body releases small, continuous doses of cortisol and adrenaline. Because these inputs never truly stop, your nervous system never gets the signal that the predator has left. You are living in a chronic, low-grade state of fight or flight. This constant bath of stress hormones slowly damages the hippocampus, the brain structure essential for forming new memories and retrieving old ones. This is why you walk into a room and completely forget why you were there, or why you struggle to recall details of a conversation you had just yesterday. Your brain is too busy trying to survive a non-existent digital predator to worry about storing memories. But here is the remarkable twist. This is not a one-way street. Because your brain is highly plastic, the very same mechanisms that allowed screens to reshape your neural architecture can be harnessed to rebuild it. You are not a helpless victim of technology. You are the architect of your own cognitive landscape, and you have the power to consciously design your digital environment to serve your biology, rather than letting your biology be exploited by code. So, how do we practically apply this neuroscience to reclaim our cognitive sovereignty? First, we must implement what I call attention batching. Since we know that task switching costs are incredibly high and leave behind attention residue that degrades our performance, we must build physical firewalls between our activities. Instead of leaving your email inbox open all day long like a leaking pipe of distraction, close the tab entirely. Decide to open it only 3 times a day, once in the morning, once after lunch, and once before you close your laptop for the evening. When you are working on a project, put your phone in another room. Research has shown that even if your phone is turned off and lying face down on your desk, your brain still dedicates a portion of its active working memory to resisting the temptation to pick it up. The mere physical presence of the device reduces your available cognitive capacity. Out of sight is not just a cliché, it is a neurological necessity. Second, we need to alter the sensory landscape of the device itself. Go into your smartphone settings right now and turn your screen to grayscale. It sounds incredibly simple, almost silly, but try it for 24 hours. Suddenly, those bright red notification badges, designed specifically to mimic the color of ripe fruit or blood to catch your primal gaze, lose their evolutionary power. The glittering feed of social media turns into a dull, gray newspaper. By stripping away the hyper-stimulating color spectrum, you immediately lower the dopamine spike associated with looking at your screen. You transition from a state of compulsive checking to one of intentional utility. The device becomes a tool again, rather than a digital amusement park. Third, we must establish what neuroscience calls the digital transition gap. When you finish a major task on your computer, do not immediately pick up your phone to fill the micro moment of boredom while you wait for a file to download or a meeting to start. Allow yourself 3 minutes of absolute doing nothingness. Look out a window. Watch the trees move in the wind. Let your mind wander without any external inputs. This brief period of unstructured mental downtime allows your brain to consolidate the information you just processed, clears the attention residue, and lowers your baseline cortisol levels. It acts as a cognitive palate cleanser, preparing your prefrontal cortex for the next task without carrying over the stress of the last one. Can you feel the difference in how you view that black mirror in your pocket now? It is no longer just a window to the world. It is a bilateral neural interface. Every time you touch it, you are consenting to a physical modification of your brain. When we realize this, our relationship with technology undergoes a profound identity shift. You are no longer a passive consumer being buffeted by algorithms designed by engineers in Silicon Valley. You are a biological entity with a highly sophisticated, beautifully adaptable nervous system that deserves protection and intentional cultivation. We do not need to throw away our computers or retreat to the woods. Technology is a magnificent monument to human ingenuity, capable of connecting us across vast distances and giving us access to the sum total of human knowledge. But to truly thrive in this digital landscape, we must approach it not with mindless consumption, but with deep biological self-respect. Go forward today with this new lens. Every time you choose to focus on one thing at a time, every time you choose to let a moment of boredom pass without reaching for your pocket, you are physically strengthening the neural structures that make you uniquely, powerfully human. You are taking back the controls of your own mind. Next time, we are going to explore a deeply startling discovery about how the specific blue light frequencies emitting from your displays are secretly altering the genetic expression of your liver and gut microbiome, changing how you digest food before you even take a single bite. Until then, protect your attention, respect your biology, and keep decoding your digital world.